Welcome back to Alex Adams Values Ratchet Reviews. What I'm going to go ahead and review once again is the Auntie podcast, and their special guest was Antonio Brown. I really did not know who he was. I don't follow sports. And I don't look up things about him because I don't follow football. The only time I ever heard about him is, sadly to say, is when I watched Baddies. And the new girl brought him up, and Natalie was like, yeah, Antonio Brown be doing his shit, be talking his shit, whatever she said. And I'm like, who? But then they kept bringing him up, so I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden, they had him on the Auntie podcast. And I'm like, I'm wondering if he would have even been on there if it wasn't for her. So, you're welcome. She kind of brought you on there, even though he kept bringing up on the podcast, on the Auntie podcast, he kept bringing her up saying that I guess he's the new baddie. So kind of like putting a dig in her face. But anyway, what I'm going to do is, like I said, I always go over their looks. This time I'm going to say they did have a good podcast. They weren't arguing. They still were talking over each other like always, which, it's fine. But once again, actually on this one, most of the questions were answered. So, they did get their questions answered. But like I said, I'll go over. So there was no arguments, which, it was fun last time, but it was still disrespectful. So I'm glad they got through all the mess that they got through. The looks, Tokyo Tony, once again, was more in black and white, red lipstick as well. Her hair looked decent, long black wig. It was nice. And she was actually her normal self, so everything seemed normal. She carried the show, which I always think she does, because she's more in control of stuff. So even in the last episode where I thought everything was disrespectful, which it was, and I understand things get heated, but it was disrespectful, and I did not like the last episode. But anyway, you'll hear that if you listen to that one. But everything was calmed down. She did a really good job of asking the questions. She was her normal, upbeat, crazy self, and she really does kind of carry the show. And so anyway, she had her black and white on, red lipstick. She looked good, red bottoms as usual. I really liked Tia's little outfit. It looked like a little, even though we're going into fall, it looked like a little spring outfit. She has a cute little body. She keeps fit for being her age, which I don't know what her age is, but I can't even say for being her age, she looks good. She had like a little spring blue color outfit on, like a blue little crop top shirt and little pants that looked like they were like fluorescent. I don't know, but she looked pretty. And then Clarissa, she always looks like dressed up business most of the time. It was like a white outfit on and some blue shoes. She was cute. And their hair was really nice, makeup subtle. And then here comes Antonio Brown, which, like I said, I knew nothing about him. I heard his name, I guess football. I don't know, I don't watch it. But he had all black on, coming in with his big old chain on, and he had on these red sunglasses, and then his middle finger was broken, I guess, on his left hand, and it was all covered in a cast that was all glittery. So I guess he's with the glitters. I don't know, I kind of liked it. It was interesting. Like I said, I didn't know nothing about him. I didn't know that he walked off the field and quit his career, I guess. And now I guess he was getting into rapping, which I did see him on something trying to rap. And I say trying to rap because I'm sorry he can't. And you guys don't know about this, but I love music. And I went to radio school. My daughter has a musical name. I love music, all kinds of music. And, you don't need to know any kind of music to know that he can't rap. I'm sorry. Stick to football. Stick to something else. You can't rap. I'm sorry. But, he had a good personality. I think he would be fun to hang out with. He was funny. And he just kept on looking at... And all the guys that go up on there love them some freaky Tokyo Tony. But she has a good rapport with the guests, so I can see why. I would think they'd be flirting more with Carlissa and Tia, because to me they're prettier, but Tokyo Tony has that personality that I guess, that little kind of ratchet personality, and she's kind of mean, and the guys like it, I guess, she's aggressive. But they were flirting nonstop, back and forth. So they asked him questions about his career. They asked him about Nunu, which I like Nunu on Baddies, that's my opinion. And he brought up how he was the baddie and this and that, but I'm sorry, she kind of to me, made you a little bit more relevant when she brought you up on Baddies. But anyway, they were asking if you wanted a job on Zeus because Tokyo Tony kept saying, your raps are dry, you can't rap, and I was dying. So I enjoyed the whole thing. I didn't really even fast forward through it because a lot of the times I fast forward through it because I'm like, okay, let's get to some good stuff. But I watched actually the whole thing, and he has a good personality. They were asking him about going to jail for child support, and he tried to say something to do with his lawyer, messed it up, blah, blah, blah. I don't really know about all that. But I was just enjoying the show, and he was constantly flirting. And then he was talking about how he has all these kids. I think he had 6 kids, maybe a 7th on the way, which is crazy to me. And, they were giving him advice. Like, Carlos was joking with him saying, keep doing what you're doing to these bitches. And then Tia was like, oh, do this, do that. And Tokyo Tony probably had the best advice, because he was saying that he likes white girls, black girls. And they were like, well, why do you like all the why do you like all the white girls? And he was like, well, who said I just like white girls? And he was like, oh, I was with a Becky, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And one thing I did like what Tokyo Tony said is she was like, stop being disrespectful. And I didn't like that you called the white girl Becky. I mean, that was kind of nice for her to say because stop stereotyping everybody. Like, come on now. Not everybody's a damn Becky. And so they were just basically giving him advice, telling him to stop rapping, which that was probably a good one. He said that he got his chain from Kanye, which I didn't even know he was, like I said, I don't know nothing about him. But you guys should watch this one. It's a good interview. Everybody was upbeat. They were clowning around with him. They talked about Keisha Cole for a minute, which I did not even know that he was with her. And he still kept saying, oh, I was only with her for like 30 days. She was all in love. And Tokyo Tony took up for her and was like, nah. You embarrassed her. You were disrespectful. So what else was going on this one? As their interviews are about 45 minutes. And they were just talking about his outfit. They talked about how he's getting naked all the time online. So I got to go check that out. Yeah, so they're mostly sexual stuff like always. Like the aunties. They're always talking about sexual stuff. And Tokyo Tony was messing with him about that the whole time. And he kept calling her a demon. And then he was saying there's, motion picture girls and demon girls. And Carlos was like, I don't understand. What is the difference? And I guess he was like, motion picture girls are porn stars and demons are the girls that are mean and have all these dudes on the side. And it was crazy. And Tia was enjoying herself. She was laughing. So overall, for this kind of quick review, I mean, it was a good podcast this time. Everybody was getting along. Everybody was asking good questions. They were even asking him if he wanted a job at Zeus. And he was like, well, hey, if they're going to give me a job, I'll take a job. He was like, he kept saying he was broke because he went bankrupt and everything. But I guess that's on him. But hey, if you're happy not doing football anymore, they kept saying he was disrespectful to fans by doing what he did. But I mean, you got to do what's best for you. Like I said, I don't know too much about it. But like I said, it was very interesting, very flirtatious. The guy looked like he had a good personality. And it was fun. It was a fun podcast, a fun one. So you guys should go see it. Like I said, about 1 million times already. But what I'm very interested in next, because next episode, this is episode 8. So next episode 9 is going to be Selena Powell. And I cannot wait for that one because they showed the preview to it. And Tokyo Tony was saying, I think you are nasty. I think you are dirty. She was saying all this stuff. And Selena Powell was like, and rich. I'm like, oh my God. She had a good comeback. So this was the one on Antonio Brown. Go ahead and watch it. And next week is going to be Selena Powell. I can't wait for that one. So that one's going to be nice and ratchet. And I think that one's going to be a good one. So like, comment, and subscribe if you like. And also go over to my other one with my friend Ashley Marie, Afterlife Thrill Seekers. And thanks for listening to Alex Adams Values Ratchet Reviews.